or I shouldn't say nobody, very few people. I'm one of the few. I mean, I do owe a lot of my work to other researchers, but, I mean, I could count them on both hands, you know?
Now, are we going to see you back on the radio or any kind of normal, regular respect? I mean, because I'd like to see you be the guy that talks about all this on the radio, you know, regularly.
Well, you know, look, part of it for me is, you know, and I want to maintain my independence right now, and you know, part of it is also, you know, I don't want to get into the advertising stuff that I don't like. I mean, part of it is I didn't feel comfortable with some of the advertising, and I don't want to go down that path. I want to continue voicing these things. I want to continue making podcasts. You know, if I can find something on radio that works for me, I'd still love to do it. I don't want to be the voice, but I want to help change the direction of things. I'm saying we do need to discuss false flag terrorism. We do need to discuss the bankers and the global elite and everything. But if we keep the focus on trying to find Masonic symbology and everything, it's interesting, it's fun, it's cute, but it's like a board game. We might as well whip the Ouija board out. We've got to awaken the 85% of Americans that have absolutely no idea what the hell is going on. And if you come at them and say they did it because they were praying to a 40-foot owl god, it's not likely to be relevant to them. They're going to look at you and say you are out of your mind. But if we say to them, SAIC, in their own annual report, admits that they're working on space-based directed energy weapons, this is something we can prove. This is documented. This is footnotable. And intellectuals can get around this. People at think tanks can get their mind around this. And furthermore, last thing I will say, look at the Blackwater scandal. You had Republican congressmen that were criticizing Blackwater. People who are pro-war were criticizing Blackwater. If we point out that SAIC and Raytheon, these contractors, are behind a lot of this, it gives room to certain congressmen to then say, wait a minute, who is running these drills? Who really does have the control right now? Because then they're not criticizing the government or criticizing the troops. They're criticizing these private companies. It gives them a degree of distance. This is not only factually correct, it is strategic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. We need to take this to the next level. I mean, we've been stuck at this inside job level. We need to go to the black op level, or, you know, start calling out these, you know, SAIC or Stratcom or these people that actually could have done this instead of just, because I've always had a problem with just referring to it as the government.
Or who's doing the research at Los Alamos? Or what in the hell is the Air Force Directed Energy Weapons Directorate and the Air Force Research Labs? I mean, what is Kirtland Air Force Base? What is Northcom? Northcom is going to take over the country in the event of martial law. Northcom is the one running the SPP meetings for the North American Union. How often do you hear people talk about Northcom? Just about never. The most recent databases, the Talon database, all the stuff that we keep hearing about, the massive grid, everything was getting intercepted and being sent into this big database. It was called Talon. It was sent to Northcom. Why don't we talk about Northcom? Who is Northcom? Well, they're based out of Colorado. How many people know that? Not that many. So we need to talk about it. We need to elucidate these points to save ourselves, to save this species, to save this country. And we can't just keep hyping stories about police brutality or trying to break the big news story to sell memberships, because it's counterproductive. And somebody's got to speak out against it.
No, I agree with you. I mean, a lot of people are tired of hearing the same story. I mean, because literally, like, every day it's the same four stories.
It's fear. You're going to die. They're going to kill you. They're going to kill 80% of you. You're going to die. Look, they may do that, but that means we have to really mobilize. I mean, I agree they may kill 80% of us. I'm not saying, this is the exact plan. It may be the outcome of this war that they're planning. That's for damn sure. And thus, if that is really true, we need to really get specific. We need to question every cause. Is Ed Brown really worth it? I mean, think about the income tax. If we relieve the income tax, if we really eliminate that, which will never happen, by the way, so it's a wasted issue. But we're basically saying to millionaires and billionaires, you do not have to pay taxes. So that you, making $27,000 a year, don't have to pay $2,000 in taxes. The millionaires can get away from their much larger tax burden that funds a lot of this system. And if you cut the income tax, you're going to have, the cause and effect. People aren't thinking these things through. And you have Ed Brown on the radio saying that he wants to shoot federal marshals. This was not a good representative for what we're trying to do. And I think a lot of people realized that and started to back off and said, wait a minute, is this somebody we want to have as a face of our movement? Why are all these bad decisions being made? We could focus on the contractors. We just go laser light into them. And I'm telling you, then the left will want to talk with us. Then these left gatekeepers will want to talk with us. That allows us to have a dialogue with them. It's so strategic, and it's factually correct. It's the best of both worlds. There's no reason not to do this. We talk about Shanghai Cooperation Organization, Russia and China, directed energy weapons, neutrino weapons, all of the things I've mentioned. People, go online and Google it. See if it's true.